Maar ons het baie drank gehad.
Oh my God, we live.
Elke story gehad.
I go to the polling station at what?
At least you don't have mustache anymore.
Just past 8, like maybe 10 past 8.
Are you serious?
Half past 12 hours.
Like was next.
No, what happened?
That's not filters.
There was a lot of filters there. I think I was showing me like, if you want, you can modify them.
Maar dat is klopt polling station dat 50 goed 9 uur gaan doen.
The thing is, like last night, our polling stations in the list time were open. The people were still voting at 11 o'clock.
Yeah. I
But
think
it was say by 9 o'clock, if you're still in the queue, you vote.
Oh, okay.
Unless you only come after 9, then you are not serious.
Yeah, but they did take people after that.
Loving local music as always, man. Cool under pressure. I love those boys teaming up with Susie Aces on the saxophone. It's titled Atata.
Woo! That's a good name for a song on this day.
Yes.
Atata.
Atata. What a Thursday morning and what a Wednesday we had.
Maar ons sal prat oor die, ne?
Ons kom daar.
Cubis, I'm just telling you that I had a 10 when I got home yesterday.
Is it?
A 10, my broer, like a 6-hour 10. So, yeah.
Was I okay? And now I was not in the shade.
You were not in the shade.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's one of those things that we had to go through. You only go through it once.
Yeah.
Once every 5 years. Yeah.
And where exactly did you go and vote?
At Kommersdal Community Hall.
Was it vol geweest? Was it?
It wasn't full, and the queue, from my understanding, I didn't check in any of the other polling stations, was moving a lot faster than at the other polling stations. I don't think there were many delays inside, except for the issue that they had with reading the cards, the new cards, with that scanning thing that they were using. Yeah. Most of the new cards, they couldn't read, so she would have to write down the number manually and so on. Maya, but other than that, we didn't really have any issues.
I was voting at home in Elisenheim.
Yeah.
And but because I went to the polling station say around 11 o'clock only. Maar my broer wat ek daar kom toe is dit
Pampies,
my broer. Maar I went there prepared. And if I say I went prepared,
you went with stock.
I went prepared. Was met my cool box gegaan. My cool box, my camping chair, umbrella, everything. And yeah.
Ek was net bang if I take anything with Kalari will come point out. Like, we don't want these things. Yeah. So toe ons maar daar gesit en warm water gedrink in die son.
Yeah. because we 11, I think I was done between 4 and 5 only. That's how slow the line was moving.
I spent about 4, because I got there around 8:30 or so. Like past 8.
Ooh, it's vroeg, jong.
Yeah, by 12:30 I was done. I remember at 12:30 I was making calls trying to, get back home and so on. So roughly 4 hours. Not so bad. But the queue was moving pretty well though.
Yeah. Maar the discussions amongst the people in the queue.
In the queue, yeah.
Ooh,
but like me, I was sort of cringing every time we're starting to talk. Every time somebody was starting to talk politics.
Yeah.
I'm like, like I don't want to get caught up now in this debate here over who and which candidate and what can. Kom ons gaan vote net. You're supposed to have made up your mind already. Don't come look for partners here.
Maar, I say again, you know, with all the elections that I've voted in personally, the first one that I obviously voted in was in 1989. And that vote was, I had the same feeling of the whole aura, the whole atmosphere, the whole excitement was very much the same as in 1989. I had the same feeling. The other, I mean, through all the years that we voted, you know, it was just an elementary process. But it was very, very defining and very significant, the vote for this year. So, but I'm very happy, Cubase, to see that people came out in numbers yesterday, yes, and come and exercise their democratic right.
I see one of the comments here from Miss Mara Baumgartner. Give us updates, please.
Nee, Mara.
Make it interesting, jealous, boring.
Nee, Mara.
By the way, I saw you walk right past me there at the Commersdal Community Hall.
Oh, Mara.
Yeah, to go vote. Why didn't you stand in the queue?
Yeah. So it's come Zali.
All right, guys.
Mara, I think Mara is well over 60. But she looks very good.
Yes, she looks very young.
Nee, daai Zalietjie, sy kan nog 'n WhatsApp gestuur word.
Just don't you. Right, guys, we're going to get to all the election talk a bit later on. Right now, of course, we have to focus on some sports news. Sports on the morning. We start with golf. Sport for old people. Namibia's top club amateur golf players struggled to make their mark at the International Paris Finals held at the Penina Golf Resort in southern Portugal this weekend. The men's pair of Florian Alles and Robert von Pritwitz finished in tied 8th position, failing to return the title for Namibia, won last year in Penina by Bertus de Moon and Joseph Martin from Windhoek. Yeah.
Oh, Joseph Martin, he still plays golf.
From last year.
Okay.
And this is what this is golf. On a Thursday.
You started off the sporting program on a limp.
Alles loopt net reg vandag hier.
Nee, it's just right. At least you gave a golf story. Continue.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
If that one surprised you, check this one out. Archers from all over the country participated in the second indoor archery championships at Sports Club Windhoek SKW in the capital over the weekend. The organizers of the very successful event, held with the support of Hemco Paints, saw the archers get on top of their game, making for a thrilling affair. There are high hopes for rising recurve bare bow star Lutz Wahlers, who is tipped to step up to international competition in the not-too-distant future. He is among a number of newcomers making waves since indoor archery was introduced in Namibia as a world archery discipline of target archery last year.
You know, my daughter plays tennis at SKW. My son plays soccer for SKW. So I always catch a glimpse of the archers every day when I'm over there. And Cubase, I must say, you know, even though it's not a sport of interest for me, but one of our colleagues' son plays in these archery tournaments. Floors Abrams' son.
Is it?
Yeah, I think his son is about 10, 11 years old, and he's doing extremely well in archery. And because of that, I do follow it now and then. But it is for them who practice it, it seems to be a very exciting sport.
Interesting. I love archery. On the PlayStation.
On the PlayStation. Oh, okay. Makes a lot of sense.
Yes. Millennials. All right, moving on to some local soccer news. This is courtesy of the New Era newspaper. Peter Shalulile He's in a rich vein of form at the moment. The Namibian international striker on Tuesday again continued his rich vein of form when he scored a crucial opening goal to help steer Highlands Park to a hard-fought 1-1 stalemate against Bidvest at the Mokholong Stadium during their ABSA Premiership clash.
He's quite a key player for Highlands, I believe. I believe last year he was their top goal scorer. I think now Peter Shalolile is doing extremely well, and it's really good to hear that our Namibian players, international players per se, are doing so well out there.
Yeah, you think Bobby should look to build a team around him?
No, of course. I think
he clearly seems to be the star man at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing that Ricardo Manenti used to do with Peter Shalolile and Hoto. So I think it's just continuing. So, but we need to qualify. We must qualify.
Yeah.
So it's not easy.
We stick with soccer, but we move over to another local daily, the Namibian Sun this is. The Namibian team of players selected from secondary schools are getting ready for the Copa Coca-Cola Africa Cup of Nations Championships that will take place in Kenya next month. The Pan-African Under-16 tournament, Copa Coca-Cola, which is held to develop young footballers into the next generation of stars, will kick off on the 2nd of December. Namibia has selected 16 players to represent the country. They will compete against players from 11 other countries, namely hosts and defending champions Kenya, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Zambia, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Uganda, Burkina Faso, Angola, and Botswana.
That's good to hear.
Yeah,
That's really
under
good
16
to hear.
boys. I hope. Who does you like to give?
Okay. He plays for the under 15s. But the downside of it is obviously the I'm not too sure. I think these are boys that are chosen from the school system.
Yes.
They basically recruit players from different schools to go and partake in this cup. Now the challenge that we've always had, Cubase, for a number of years is that most of our boys, and they say a lot of the quality of soccer, are basically centralized around the clubs, like your Ramblers, your Escavia, etc., etc. And apparently the national teams from youth level are not chosen
from the
clubs. And that is a constant fight at the moment. That and my son my son goes to homeschooling. There's no soccer club at the homeschool. so that's the problem.
Neville's homeschool.
Yeah.
Soccer team.
Yeah.
It's just interesting.
So the challenge is for many parents whose children go to private schools who don't give football as part of the curriculum, but whose children are playing for DTS, Escavia, Ramblers, Swallows even, etc. And you see the quality of football that's played there. They are not eligible to play in this.
But it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
I mean, if he is still in the age group and he's playing football on a regular basis, what's the real excuse for not picking them?
It's a bit of a
picker.
It's a serious story daar vir ons, maar is alright.
Now, the one thing I did not do this entire past 2 days is watch any football.
Nee, dis onmoontlik.
Ek het glad nie sokker gekyk.
Nee.
Dis al nie glo nie.
Broer.
Daar was soveel politieking.
Politiek, nee.
Yes.
Was it nie gesport nie,
I
was it
never got
gepolitiek?
around. I didn't even watch my team play last night. We're going to get to the results though, but we're checking out some international.
Ek moet jou sê, my broer, nee.
Yeah.
I hope after this political period, I think on this device of mine, there are over 250 videos that is politically related and maybe over 600 to 700 fake news breaking news,
articles, yes.
everything. I think as from Monday, I'll have to clean my phone properly.
By the way, it's one of those things that we want to tackle because, everybody is spreading news on social media, especially during and after the elections. So you must kind of be careful with the source of your information.
Yeah.
But in any case, Zlatan Ibrahimovic is still continuing to make news. He bought, I think, like about a 25% stake in a Swedish team, which is not Malmo, from his hometown. And then this happened. The former Man United striker has become the co-owner of Swedish club Hammarby, much to the anger of a section of Malmo fans. So, es was Jay, but a Black Africa legend is the Hankoop Jay.
African stars.
Oh,
okay.
Yes.
I understand.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Of course, Ibra posted a picture of a Hammarby shirt to his Instagram account on Tuesday, prompting speculation he could join the club as a free agent after leaving LA Galaxy. However, the owners of LA Galaxy have confirmed they have sold half of their stake in Hammarby to the former Sweden international. But there was a furious reaction from supporters of Malmo, Zlatan's first club, which with pictures of his statue outside their stadium being vandalized and appearing to be set on fire in a video widely shared on social media.
White people and their problems.
You can never go back home like this. Once you leave, you're gone.
Yo.
All right, taking a look at some, transfer news before we get to the results from yesterday. Jadon Sancho is ready to deal Manchester United a significant transfer blow, as he would prefer a move to Spain with either Real Madrid or Barcelona over a return to England. It's interesting. I didn't expect that from an English player. They normally prefer to play in England over anything else.
Very true.
Yeah.
We'll watch that space.
Definitely. Paul Pogba could be back in the Manchester United squad in time for the derby clash with Manchester City on December the 7th.
Away next week, Saturday.
Yes. And also, Arsenal have begun drawing up a list of possible replacements for Unai Emery, despite the Spaniard claiming he has their backing, with Max Allegri and Nuno Espirito Santo at the top of the list. What do you think?
Go already.
Emery.
Go already. The thing is, I don't even want to know who we are playing against this coming weekend, because it's probably an away game, because we fluffed our Lions with a home game again. We normally lose when we are away.
I think you're playing Europa League. Is it today or yesterday?
Ja, seker vanaand speel ons Europa League.
Ons het nie tyd vir sports gehad nie.
Nee.
Ons ander goed wat besig was. Tottenham and Manchester United have been told Bruno Fernandes is still available for £60 million, even though he has only just signed a new contract with Sporting Lisbon. They're still looking to strengthen that midfield. Manchester United, meanwhile, are among 7 clubs who have talked with Bayer Leverkusen midfielder Kai Havertz over a move, according to reports in Germany. Kai Havertz was named, I think Jadon Sancho won the Golden Boy. I can't remember who was in second place, but I think Kai Havertz was in third. A very good midfielder, young, German, Ballack-esque.
Aha.
All right. Checking out some transfer news from around Europe, from European newspapers. That was mostly now from England. England. Arsenal, you guys are making waves, eh? Arsenal and United are both interested in Atlanta United star Ezekiel Barco, and could make an offer for the 20-year-old when the transfer window reopens. Alles ook nog steeds 20-year-olds. Real Madrid, meanwhile, have no intention of letting Vinicius Jr. leave the club in January, either permanently or on loan, despite the Brazilian having been left out of Zizou's last 2 match-day squads. Also, Barcelona made inquiries for Borussia Dortmund midfielder Julian Weigl. That was last year as they searched for a long-term replacement for Sergio Busquets. Of course, we all now know they ended up pursuing and signing Frankie de Jong from Ajax. I see there were comments where I think Eric Abidal was talking about De Ligt joining Juventus, and he was sort of affirming that De Ligt probably regrets. And of course, Matthias De Ligt has reiterated that he has no regrets about choosing to move to Juventus over Barcelona in the summer.
Yeah.
He said he had to adapt to a new system, but of course he's satisfied with the way things are going, and he's very happy to be there.
Well, I think Cubase, when we were talking, I think before the new season started, about De Ligt, and it's one of the things that we said, you know what, let the boy go to Juventus. It is a slower set of football that they play there. I think the pace of football either in England or in Spain is probably a little bit faster. Let him go and adapt there. I think he can do a good showing for himself there. No, I think it was a good move for him.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, by his standards, he has had a bit of a slow start. But, yeah, he's growing into that role. And of course, the stalwart Chiellini is out injured for almost the whole season. So,
Okay.
yeah, that is also something else. Taking a look at the results from yesterday first. Chelsea coming from behind to draw, snatch a late point at Valencia with a 2-2 draw. Christian Pulisic really starting to grow into his own in that Chelsea squad. I think Lampard is giving the boys some maybe McDonald's burgers, or I don't know. He's most American. Lyon were hoping to become the first French team to win in St. Petersburg when they traveled to Russia to take on Zenit, and of course they ended up losing the match 2-0. Barcelona beat Borussia Dortmund at the Nou Camp 3-1. I don't know.
I watched that game last night. It was a frantic game. It was a well-balanced game. Of course, I wanted Barcelona to win, and win comprehensively. Again, the front three, Griezmann, Messi, Suarez, they've done their names justice again last night. Maar my broer, the defense of Barcelona is suspect.
Very much.
The goal that English boy scored last night,
Jaden.
We thought it was a consolation goal. Maar my broer, die mannetjie het pal geslaan weer. En just the general inept, careless play at the back of Barcelona cost them almost. Even a guy like, and you know how strong I feel about Rakitic. He made quite a blunder, I think, in the first 5 minutes.
Yes, I saw.
Yeah, with his back pass.
I think the only reason that they're playing him now is, so somebody can be like, okay, we'll buy him. So if you just sit him on the bench, obviously his value will drop.
Yeah.
But just to move a bit back, speaking of the defensive issues of Barcelona, which were once again on display yesterday. Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid on Tuesday night. Madrid went ahead 2-0. I don't know if you saw the match.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yes, they were leading 2-0. And then they conceded 2 soft goals. Also, once again showing that they don't have really issues in their attack. They can put away goals left, right, and center. But that defense, if you put them a little bit under pressure, a suspect.
Ek dink die El Clasico will be like 6-6.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised at this point.
Ek moet jou sê, I was watching that game in Cubase, you know what? There are, I remember I used to feel like this many, many years ago when, with the All Blacks, when Jonah Lomu used to play rugby, the late Jonah Lomu. If he gets the ball, I would just sit there in awe and watching him.
Of what this guy does.
And I'm telling you, Cubase, I feel the same when Kylian Mbappe moves. The way I used to feel with Thierry Henry at Arsenal when he used to play. this Kylian Mbappe boy, I mean, we don't watch French football, but the chance that we get watching it in the Champions League, when I would see this boy moving it against Real Madrid the other night, he scored the first goal.
Yeah.
It was not spectacular, but his general movement off the ball and on the ball.
Brilliant.
Oh,
For a 20-year-old, he's only going to get better.
and Neymar had a good game also when he came on.
Oh yes, when he came on, he had a real influence
Yeah.
on the game.
Yeah.
I think that is sort of the stage that he relishes.
Yeah.
I think he's also realized that nobody really watches me playing in France. So at least when
Yeah.
I'm playing in the Champions League, I need
That's
to
so.
show
That's so.
a thing or two. Some of the other results from yesterday, Red Bull Salzburg did themselves, of course, a major favor with their qualification chances by beating Genk 4-1 away. Ajax beat Lille 2-0 in France. Defending champions Liverpool were held 1-1 by Napoli at Anfield. What think you van die match?
Yeah, I think I was, with all due respect, and to the Liverpool supporters who's watching now, I think I told you guys that before the Champions League this year final, I said I will give them the Champions League if they can't take the league. But there's no way that I will support them in the Champions League this year. I want them to at least win the league.
Nux.
So
They can win a Carabao Cup.
this is how Cubase is player hating on your team. So I don't want Liverpool to, obviously to defend the title successfully. I let them know klaar it must now go back to Barcelona.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
yeah.
But,
we must probably get a defender first.
Yeah, we need to get 2 defenders. So, but Napoli, I think they were leading, and Liverpool equalized later on.
Back, yeah. It's also not an easy one to navigate that Napoli team. It's alles baie goed.
Alles goed, ja.
Benfica drew 2-2 against RB Leipzig, and Inter Milan overcame Slavia Prague 3-1. Yes, those were the results from yesterday's Champions League matches. I think Arsenal is taking on Frankfurt tonight in the Europa League.
Cubis, asseblief toch. Kan je net lees wat die mense sê?
Die mense soek election results.
Nee, laat
we
hulle
don't
gaan.
have election results. We only have soccer results.
Daar is die election hierso nie. Ja. Wat
Now,
is election?
We're talking sports for now, guys. We will get to the elections. I'm sure you guys have a lot that you want to share, and we want to hear all of it.
And we will not talk elections today, even after 8. We'll talk
Parenting.
parenting.
Leons moet hier zo kom uitgesteld worden in de studio.
Ek het jou gesê. I told you when this week started, Cubase. You were the one that, why must we just talk politics? Ek sê, my broer, hierdie week, nee.
There's no avoiding it.
There's no avoiding the elephant in the room. So we're just waiting for Maria to come into the studio so we can set this ball rolling. Because today and tomorrow, and hierdie ding, nee, you youth people, you from the youth.
What did we do?
I saw you in the queues yesterday. Klip hard gebak. Ja. Asking them, so, how is things going? No, we are tired.
It's not vote for change, vote for change. Like,
We are tired. So, some of our old people, was nie nagewees gister nie, maar so right.
There's nog niks. In 2024, everybody who's 17, 16, 15, 14, right now, are all going to be eligible to vote as well.
So, okay.
Yeah. Jay Warimosi, you're not going to be here.
That's an idle threat.
It's not a threat.
Yeah.
It's just
I'm
a fact.
tired of these threats.
It's not a threat. Why are you threatened by the facts?
Nee. No, want toe moet ons gaan? Ons ou mense.
Nee, julle kan kom vote.
Huh?
Vote, julle kan vote vir julle se party is. Nah. All right, guys, that's your sports news for this morning.
Interesting after 8. I swear it would mense sal praat.
All right, we'll be back in about 10 minutes or so. Just keep checking the Informante Facebook page for the live stream. Maria's also going to join us in the studio. This is the Morning Mix on Informante Radio.
sports on the morning.